Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Otter Talk. Once again, it is I, Dory K, joined by a new producer we're trying out for the day. This is I'm Braku. Thank you for showing up. And with me, we've got Malice, Darkin, and Astrid, which is a pretty good deal. We've got the two players from the stream match tonight, I understand.
Yep.
Coach,
All
actually,
right.
but yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're the coach, right. That's all right. You get to be like part of the team, you know. When I got the role for winning with CB Queensguard as their coach. You know, the role that people definitely care about in the Discord.
No, they don't. But that's okay. It's the players that earn it anyways. We wouldn't want to take their valor away from them.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyways, yeah, go ahead and go down the line, introduce yourselves. I've got Malice first on the docket. Tell us a little about yourself.
All right, well, I go by Malice, and I am a collegiate esports coach. I've been coaching for about 6 years, and I'm the owner of Phantastic Academy. Phantastic Academy is a new organization for amateur esports looking at empowering its players through training, education, and opportunity. This is the third team that we've put together. The first two were part of a study that I was conducting on the methods of holistic and autocratic coaching. And this team is our IBS Gold team, who's been looking for an opportunity to shine for about the last 5 to 6 months. And we're excited to be here and just showing dominance that this is our moment and we're going to seize it.
That's exactly right. You are off to a good start over at Phantastic Academy, looking to keep it up as well. But on the other side of the bracket, you guys are going to be facing down Team Skyline with Darkin here, if you want to introduce yourself as well.
Yeah, I'm Darkin. I'm the team manager and coach of Team Skyline. This is Team Skyline's first team. And everybody should pray for them after Auto Talk is over for picking Vayne Jungle.
Okay. uh, and you know, if it works, we've got two ends of the spectrum here. I mean, and definitely gonna be a good match. Hopefully, Team Skyline, you can make your guys' case for being out of the bottom of people's power rankings, along with a team I'm all too familiar with being down there. But Astrid as well, we've got joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Well, I'm known now by Astrid, but I also been known by other names like CT Albedo and also Queen Frost. I've been in the competitive now for a few years. I play with a few teams like CT. My first team I ever played with was TFA. I've been around for a while. I have a few wins under my belt, and I'm trying to get more now. I joined Black Pearl by one of my friends, Fritz, was the one who like recommended me to the team, and I've been really enjoying this group of people. They're like really fun to play with, and they're serious, but we also like don't take it super serious. We still want to have fun, and we still want to like have a good time. It's not like all business, but at the end of the day, we just really want to win.
And that is saying a lot. Being able to have fun and still win is sometimes not always that easy, especially if it doesn't go quite your way. But with that being said, we've actually got a little bit of predictions for the week. We've got our stream match, obviously, but if we could transition on over to that prediction panel, we can see what everybody had to say about the results for the matches we've got going on tonight. We've got four once again. Sorry, I just got to check it out. We actually are a little bit split in the first match. Now, I get to cheat a little bit, and being the owner of Sun, I obviously have to root for my guys. I think that they've shown a lot of improvement internally. That being said, Astrid, we don't really have any way internally or externally from looking at what's been going on for thinking that Sun would put up a fight. What makes you think that Sun has a chance at winning this one?
I mean, I saw their team on LXC, and although I think they started pretty rough at the beginning of the season, they still have pretty good players, and they show improvement from week 1 to week 2, so that's always a good, thing to look for. TD for me is always like one of those teams that does like really well, but they also tend to slump when they shouldn't slump. So for that alone, I was like, I do believe that Suns could potentially really win this. I think it's gonna be close. It's gonna be probably a 2-1, and I feel like go either way. But I personally think Songs is gonna win this one.
Well, thanks for having a little bit of faith in us, but I guess the people who have the most sense in this matchup are definitely gonna be Darkin and Malice. Do either of you want to kind of explain where the explicit advantages come from for TD that most people will say in the League C?
As for myself, I wasn't really considering the advantages that TD had, more so the disadvantages and challenges that Sun needs to overcome. A lot of what makes a team functional and successful is a team culture. And while I do believe that Sun has a stronger culture, as I've interacted with them last week, they are rebounding off of losing one of their players. And so that put them in a tough spot where they need to rebuild and realign. I think it's going to take another week or two before they start to see real tangible success. And so for today's week, I think it's just not enough time has passed for them to organize themselves. I think TD, as a very strong team, a known team that's won before, is going to take the day 2-1.
Anything to add, Darkin?
TD's icon looks better, so I think they're gonna win.
I will send the criticism to the logo designer at Sun. And with that being said, the second matchup, three of us are kind of leaning towards Astrid being the winner. Obviously, Astrid gonna vote for their own team to win, but Darkin on the other side does see the benefits of Conduit, a household name in the scene at this point, being Conduit. What makes you think that they have the advantage here?
Well, I'll be honest, Dory, I didn't fill that out. The captain did.
Oh, the captain did. You want to see what the captain thinks?
I'm pretty sure he also thinks it's something to do with their logo.
You know what? We're gonna go with it. You can't get away with that on the third one, though. I need you to actually look up the sheet because spoilers: Hyperion uses the same logo for both their teams. so, we'll get you on that third one. We're gonna put you on the spot. As for the rest of us, we've put Jolly Roger, Black Pearl, and it seems pretty convincingly so. At least from watching my own team play against you guys, it's very difficult to find a ton of openings to abuse you. If anything, like in my opinion, there might be like some sloppy team fights that could be taken advantage of, but at this level, that's easier said than done. And anybody can give their opinions if they want, I guess.
I was waiting to be invited to speak.
Jolly Rogers, Black Pearl clearly has the better icon, so.
Yeah, you voted for the other one.
Personally, if I had to redo the power rankings, it's definitely Jolly Roger, number 1. Send your logo designer, please.
I guess they've kind of been in the argument for being at the absolute top of the standings. Power rankings be damned, we'll see that. I personally think Jolly Rogers like easily could make an argument for first. Like not, I feel like Phantastic Academy's pretty firmly in first still, but I think Jolly Rogers makes a case for like second, third, absolutely. And I know a lot of people are going to lean towards just names they know. They're going to be like, oh, we know TD, oh, we know Conduit, we're going to put them up. But I mean, there's a case to be made for Jolly Rogers to be all the way up in second.
When I was looking over Jolly Rogers, or looking over all the teams, I was looking at the average rank in MMR of a lot of the players. Not that rank is everything, and I would adamantly argue that it's not, but it can be a good indicator as the prediction of how a team will perform. And what struck me as interesting is that Jolly Rogers had a more average or middle of the roll team average compared to some of the other teams on the roster, but they're still up there. And what I would argue is second, third place with a score of 4-1, 4 wins and 1 loss. And so I'm not sure exactly where they're going to fall. I'm watching them kind of as a wild card, not a TD wild card, that can be a huge successor in this tournament or somebody that gasses out in the later half. They can go either direction, in my opinion. But today, I think that they're going to come out on top of Conduit, as Conduit has lost to what I perceived to have been weaker opponents.
All right, I think that's fair. Aster, do you have any perspectives on your own team, or do you
I
kind of
would
want to abstain?
say one of the things that we have done pretty well about is adapting on where to play and what our strengths and our weaknesses are. We are pretty good at recognizing what do we want to play for and what we can exploit to get ahead, and usually that helps a lot transitioning to the mid game when some of the mishaps may happen and some of the team fights, as you mentioned earlier. But I think we have usually we have a clear vision of what we want to do and how we want to play the game, and we are playing for those things to fall into place. So I think that's why we have been so successful so far, and we are going to try and continue to do that going forward.
All right. That sounds perfectly fair to me. And as for the third one, I am going to help you out a little bit. Darkin, your captain said Shield was the one that was going to win. Everyone else said Hyperion Gaming.
Oh yeah.
I mean, for me, I had
You
to
know-
predict an upset somewhere, and I'm assuming that's where I was thinking.
You know, he may have said Shield, but I'm looking at the multi right now. I thought about what you said, and Indigo is Emerald 4, and Shield. Yeah, which team was that again?
Isn't Indigo the coach? I feel like Indigo's not allowed to play in gold.
You know, I don't know
Also,
why
Indigo's an
Indigo's
inter.
on
I
the
don't care
roster.
how high elo Indigo gets, Indigo's an inter.
Okay, true. I'm gonna have to go with what the who is the guy that made this for me again?
Your captain, right?
Your
Yeah, my
captain, you said.
captain. Yeah, my captain. I have to go with my captain. He clearly has an eye for it.
All right, Hyperion Shield for Darkin. I'm gonna actually pull up the team sheets a little bit and try to make some sense out of it, because it is a highly contested, like, middle of the pack matchup between Shield and Gaming. Both of them kind of could be on the fringe of making playoffs, and they definitely are going to be facing off for what could definitely set the momentum for the rest of the season for whichever team wins. So while I do that, if you guys have any thoughts about Team Skyline, I feel like Darkin has to make their case for why they're going to be able to upset Phantastic Academy. So go ahead and go on to that point, Darkin.
Okay,
Tell
yeah,
us.
I think I can give this one. Yeah,
I'm
so the draft situation. I'm not listening to any of these players ever again. And it's gonna be the most silver draft possible, which is why we're gonna win. Yeah.
All
And
right,
our
so we can
logo's better.
expect. So we can expect. We can expect a little Bronzodia, you think?
I hope.
You hope so? All right, I guess Malice. That means you gotta somehow ban out the most OP champion to ever exist. He's got 2 Qs and he can't lose. Just don't look at my match results from last night.
Bane jungle.
But yeah, I mean, it's tough to say because Skyline has been struggling, and they're new. Phantastic has made a huge splash, and they're new. But like, I don't know. I've seen Scrambles play before. I think Scrambles is a returning player, right, from somewhere else.
Yeah, I kind of just like grabbed like a bunch of kittens off the street and I put them on a team.
I think Scrambles is getting subbed out today, right?
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. I remember seeing Scrambles. It's a good time because if I remember right, they played a lot of Lilia and like those AP champs that were pretty good for a while here. But I don't know, since we have 2 coaches, if you guys have perspective of like how the meta has shifted. At least I get that the meta is going to be different here as opposed to like at higher elos, but I don't know if you think patch notes recently have affected where these teams could
Personally,
be standing.
I think I don't know how they do it, but IBS players can play Lilia. They play it good. I don't think it matters which player is playing it. They're just good at it. They showed me that. So it's a great champion.
think
My
that's
thoughts
fair.
on the. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I have a habit of speaking over others. My thoughts on the changes in the meta. I think AP junglers are still very strong. What made them strong was the Faded Ashes and their clear speeds, how fast they can clear the camps, and that hasn't been changed a whole lot. So they're still going to have an advantage against some of the other more popular junglers. With that said, the biggest shift that we've seen in 14-18 has been the rise in prominence of a lot of burst control mages. Burst items have been increased. Syndra has gone from the bottom of the list to being a pretty strong pick, and champions like Ari that have a lot of kite ability and burst damage have moved to the position of pick or ban because of the item changes have elevated them to that level. I think that this trend is not going to remain for very long. 14-19 is going to see a significant reduction in damage across the board, which means that those that are burst heavy are going to fall off quite a bit because it's going to require more damage to kill somebody. That's my thoughts on the meta anyways.
All right, I can definitely see that. Astrid, do you think anything in the bot lane has been impacted very heavily?
I
For
mean,
you?
there have been a few nerfs to some of the most OP. Example, like the Kaylin is not being as good as she used to be because her build pack got a little wonky with the changes. So she's not as dominant as she used to be. She's still pretty decent, in my opinion. But she's not as strong as she used to be, so you can actually kind of get behind and it's really bad. Like before you had a better build pad, so it wasn't as bad for you. The LP still look the same to me, to be honest. I seen more resurgence of like AP ball laners here and there, like with the case of the Sigs being flex balling a lot of the time, just because he has like really good lane presence. And he's like one of the strongest AP champions, like because he has like really good range, he has like really good way clear, so he can, you know, put one of those ADCs like really behind and against the turret all the time. So that's the what I seen change the most as far as like right now.
Yeah, I can kind of feel that. I am anticipating the nerfing coming. Is it next week or 2 weeks from now? I think
I
it's
think
next week.
I think it's next week. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about the nerfing. But then again, I play support, so I heard that support's gonna be great. So,
Supports our bag, baby.
Playing enchanters, it should be a lot easier.
Yeah.
ah,
Longer fights means more uptime, means more value, means play your enchanters.
hey, it's a shame that my teammates hate enchanters.
Well, if it's
But
at
it's
this
all right.
elo, I'd understand why.
I am a Fuemigo merchant up in the platinum division. Thank you very much. No, but no. Anyways, so as I've gone on about the power rankings a little bit. Or not power rankings, the predictions for a little bit. But we actually did produce power rankings as well. And I was actually pretty interested to see that there were some differences. If we can actually move over to that slide, there we go. Obviously everybody's going to put Phantastic first, but we do see kind of a shift between the opinions between having TD Conduit and Jolly Roger's Black Pearl as the next three. I think that's probably a consensus between all of us, but does anybody think there's an argument for any team other than those four to be in the top half right now?
I made an argument for Hyperion Gaming to be possibly up there in the fourth. I have a bit of a bias with this. I had worked with Moonlight in the past. I got Mooney on my team, they got Moonlight. And I had introduced Moonlight to Hyperion Gaming, and I think it was like July of 2023, and they've been playing there since. And so I want to see them succeed. One of the things that were interesting to me with the Hyperion roster is they now have the highest rated player in the league. Their top laner, I believe it was, who has now hit Emerald 4, had a surge from a Platinum 3 to Emerald 4 in this last week. This indicates to me that they have a fairly reputable and strong player that can be an advantage as they're the first one to take advantage of these more flexible rules that we have at BOL to discourage Elo City. Whether or not that player is going to be their ace in the hole that carries them to the higher rosters, it's hard to say. They've lost a lot of their matches before despite having that player, and I don't imagine that the player necessarily got better within that week. I think that they had found something that worked at ELO or that MMR, which better represents their current strength. But if they were losing before, they could still be losing now.
It's definitely the case. The player in question is that. Are we talking about Indigo still? The hit Emerald
I'd have
4?
to look up the name, but I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Indigo's, as much as I will make fun of him constantly, Indigo has very high highs. If you give him resources, he will pop off every time you give them to him. But if he gets behind, he is kind of a piss griefer. But love you, Indigo. Just don't beat up on my team anymore, please. But yeah, that I think that's a pretty fair assessment. Does anybody have any other thoughts outside of that? Do we actually see Darkin put Skyline higher? But then again, I mean, the same thing happened. My team is not doing particularly great. I put them higher than they probably realistically deserve based on the results so far. And then obviously Jolly Rogers and Phantastic are both kind of backing it up, so you guys can put yourselves higher. As all of us have put Phantastic first yet again. And then we've kind of got that discussion around TD and Conduit. I guess that's a good talking point. What do we think is the difference maker between TD and Conduit? Like, what decides which team should be higher up?
At the moment, I just think that TD has just been looking stronger overall. So based on that alone and how they've been doing, I place them above Conduit, especially since Conduit is 1-1, TD is still 2-0. They have dropped a few games, but like they've dropped one game. Sorry, not a few games. They dropped one game. So like just in paper and how they've been playing, they just look ahead at the moment. Now we're still pretty early into the game, so you know a lot can shift as we go into the middle of the schedule, because that's when like things start to shift sometimes a lot of the time. Because a lot of the teams when they start battling each other, then they start shaping a different way. But I think just as of right now, they just have a better record. They've been playing better overall, so that's why I think they're slightly ahead of Conduit.
All right. Do we have any other thoughts on the Conduit versus TD discussion?
Not at this time for me, no.
No, for sure. And we already kind of beat up the Hyperion Civil War, so I mean, at this point, we kind of got through all the stuff that we needed to get through off the bat. So now we get to have some actual fun with it. So let's talk about my favorite question for you guys. And that is gonna be, all right, Darkin, did your captain fill out the hot take, or did you fill out the hot take?
Okay, so I was looking at the hot take of like what he put just like 2 minutes, maybe like a minute ago, and I keep losing the file, and I would definitely put Jolly Rogers higher. Oh, the hot take. My bad. I filled that out.
You did. Okay. So, are you interested in finding out if they do? Because you have a
Yeah,
primary source available.
we gotta find out. Like it's like such an important question. It kind of determines if we're gonna win tonight. Like depending if they touch grass or not.
Okay. So, that being said, Malice, does your team like Maruk and Ramen? Also, did I just pronounce it right, or am I?
Yeah, you pronounced it right.
Okay. All right.
Who is that? Who or what is that?
It's the instant ramen.
All right. All right,
package.
Dark. That sounds good
That-
for you guys.
That
sounds
answer,
good.
yeah, that fucking fixes it. Let's go.
Being said, I did like Malice's hot take as well. I think that I kind of shared that perspective as a coach for Sun in the past and for CB in the past. I think that any team can realistically win in any division. I know the Gold League is not a fan of my takes about your LP and how you perform. They like to think that your LP is not an indicator of how you've played. But
No,
maybe
that's
Malice will love you more.
that's something I can agree with on you. They better gain LP. Their rank is 100% reflection of their performance.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like streakiness, but I feel like if you hit like a high enough sample size of games, you realistically should be able to see gradual periods of improvement in your rank if you're actually showing signs of improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
see my jungler at hundreds of games, and it's not looking great.
exactly. So like if you start to stabilize at like a couple hundred games, like even like 60 to 80 games at times, like if you're
Yeah,
stabilizing and you're stuck at the same
like
rank for a long
a
time,
little
like
more than a couple hundred.
the bright side is like we have two orgs that are popping up that have access to coaching resources. How often do you guys like hold VOD review sessions? Do you do one-on-ones with the players?
As for myself,
Personally,
oh, go ahead.
I do not give IBS players one-on-ones because I don't think they're gonna learn anything. But if they're like if they like messed up really bad in a game, I'll let them know the basic reasons why they lost, so they understand what I am saying to them. Yeah,
Oh, so you think more of like application of what you talk about as opposed to like physically
like
showing up for it?
no, like I'll tell them the reason, like the real reason they lost the game, but that's the only thing I'll ever tell them.
All right, all right. Malice, do you have a different opinion on that?
Oh, I do. I have lots of opinions on this. Do you mind if I make a little bit of a plug while I'm at it?
Gitano tried to sell us his Etsy shop, so I don't think you can do much worse than that.
Perfect. All right. So I believe when it comes to coaching, that it needs to be formatted in a way designed that helps people learn. I do utilize replays, but I do not like having extensive, long 30, 40-minute replays. I don't think they're very productive unless they're in a one-on-one setting. And anything you try to teach the player has to have a learning target. There's one or two specific things that you're trying to teach them, followed up by actionable actions that they can do. Things that they feel, oh, I can do that. So they can start practicing it, rehearsing it, and then reflecting on it. This is part of the experimental learning model. I would love to talk all about this at a later date if you guys will have me or if anybody's interested. But one of the things that I would like to say that here at Phantastic Academy, we are looking to do two things. One, we're looking to recruit new coaches and train those coaches on the art of coaching. And two, coming out in the next couple months, we will be starting a coach training program. So if coaches want to get a certification on the art of coaching and how to coach properly as a holistic coach or comparable to that with what you'll see at the collegiate and professional level, go ahead and send me a DM because we're looking to get that started here in the next couple months.
That's sick. That's an awesome surface. And don't forget, it's Blue Otter League. Nah, just so that Bully doesn't get pissed at me. Blue Otter League is also sponsored by an El Clasico. Coachify.gg if you want to get the services for that. Yada yada. Hit exclamation point Coachify in the chat. I'm pretty sure it still works. So lots of coaching resources out there, and I think that like a lot of the problem, and I know people are gonna be mad at me for this, is I think that they're criminally underutilized, and I think any player can get ranked up. Fury just confirmed that it does not work. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to find it yourselves. Uh, so yeah, I think coaching resources like definitely do get underutilized. And I mean, I'm not really one to talk. I've been the same elo for years, but I don't know. Astrid, I know like these other two teams both obviously are bringing coaches. Their coaches are on Otter Talk. What, without revealing more than you're comfortable, what is like your coaching or staff structure over at Jolly Rogers like?
Well, we have a very good coaching and a staff. At the moment, we do not have a coach. Our coach had some stuff come up, so he had to step down. So we are technically right now looking for a new coach. I know a coach for another one of the teams came and helped us last week with drafting and a little bit with like how the game was going. But at the moment we don't have a coach. But our owner has been really nice. Like he always tries to like be on top of things. So even if we don't have a coach, he will come and see if we need any help with any of the draft. If we need help with anything, he's always like asking questions. He's always on top of us. So I'm really grateful for that because he always makes us feel very welcome and he tries to give us as much resources as he possible can. And I think that's part of like what has made us like somewhat successful. is the fact that we have such a good staff overall that they always like come and help us as much as they can, because that helps a lot, especially when you have other things that sometimes that you have to worry about. Having somebody who will support you and help you with those decisions that it's a lot. It takes a bit of your plate, so that way you can focus on other things that you're working on at the moment. So
That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, wow, we actually got through this really fast. Maybe I'll add some questions for Gold, because you guys have been awesome. Thank you, all three of you, for showing up. I really appreciate your time. And yeah, I can't really think of anything else. There's not really too much to talk about. Any funny stuff going on in the Discord right now? No, the chat's empty. It's game day. Where is everybody?
they're getting ready for the games, obviously.
If you want to
They're
talk
in their-
about
they're in their
the
ARAM.
funny stuff in the Discord, I saw Doki's name come up.
Oh.
I don't know if that was today or yesterday.
The boy?
But
The
I was looking to see what it was about, because there's always a story connected to that name.
Yeah, he's interesting. So, long story short, Roar isn't putting teams in BOL, but as I personally have known Doki since basically we both started with amateur stuff, and the guy's just a grinder. Like, you know how many teams they have at any given time?
Yeah,
I can imagine.
It's a lot.
Sadly, my interaction with Roar wasn't as good, so
A lot of
Can't
people have had some mixed experiences with them in the past, myself included.
yeah.
Very mixed experiences with him in the past. But funny enough, most of the time people are just like poking the bear and like screwing with him. But like he's managed to become pretty uncontroversial in the places that he still plays. I, for one, would think it would be hilarious if we got the TP Smite guy back in BOL at some point. But I say that knowing I might get fired tomorrow for it. So, Mr.
I'm in the opinion just about anybody can reform. I'm sure there'll come a day where he rejoins and is a phenomenally hilarious addition that we can all find appreciation for.
Maybe they'll do that when they bring back where you can TP to wards before 10 minutes.
Yeah. I don't think they're coming back no more.
If only.
Yeah.
I don't know.
think,
They
Jinx it.
It seems like they're trying to revert a lot. They're trying to revert like the last 6 years of like damage creep in one patch. I'm curious to see what happens.
It's either gonna fix it or just screw it even more.
You know, Prof I think knows a lot about it. Prof, will this, just as a yes or no, will this patch affect top lane?
What, patch 14.18 or patch 14.19?
19.
19.
I'm
No.
scared.
It will not.
Oh, thank God.
You want me to tell you why?
Why?
Because top lane's typically a melee versus melee matchup, meaning that whoever gets the dominant position is going to be controlling the lane, and that doesn't change even with the item nerfs. There might be a change in the lineup of who is strong. Those who like extended fights might be more preferable to those who are looking for short engagements, but the lane itself should stay typically the same. So Mordekaiser and Set and other champions like that want to duel with you will still be
Okay,
dominant.
so Mordekaiser, Set, Darius, IBS is going to be going crazy. Got it.
Aatrox is another good one. Garen might be all right. Quinn could actually have a pretty interesting time up there, but I'll have to see what the itemization is on that.
Oh, don't say that.
Don't
say that too
please,
loud.
please,
Indigo in the chat.
please
How
don't
do you
that
feel
to
about
me.
Vayne top, or more controversially, Vayne jungle?
You're okay. They're gonna get yelled at for picking Vayne jungle.
What about Ivern top?
Ivern top. You know, if it wasn't actually, if my top laner played Ivern, it would be picked.
I'm an enjoyer of like
Just
the
just
Ivern
run
Rengar stuff.
Yeah, Ivy Rengar.
If any of these teams pick Rengar, I'm watching it.
All right. Well, with that being said, I'm going to give you guys an early night so you can go and get ready for the matches with your teams. So everybody here in the Blue Otter League, stay tuned, sit still, just wait. Stream's going to be coming back in about 10 minutes. We've got Phantastic Academy taking on Team Skyline. So keep an eye on the draft because Darkin and Malice, you guys are going to have the magnifying glass on you here in just a little bit. Thank you to all three of you once again, and thank you to our producer for putting it on. We'll see you guys soon.
Thanks for having us. It's been a
Thank you.
fantastic time, and look forward to a fantastic game.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Blue Otter League Gold. We are in week number 3. My name is Fury. I'm joined alongside Storm tonight. We've got a pretty good match for you guys today with a little bit of implications kind of early on. Right now, we have Phantastic Academy Starcross 2-0 versus Team Skyline, currently 0-2. They're looking for their first win and to finally shut down the undefeated streak that we're seeing them on right now. Storm, excited for tonight? How you looking?
Yeah, I think tonight should be fun. It's always interesting to see how the teams match up. That one of the greatest things about Gold is you never really know what's going to happen. That the greatest teams can really fall down and the smallest teams can pull off some really big upsets.
Yeah, it's very true. Nothing's ever set in stone in Gold. I mean, even we've seen it before. Even in the middle of a game, you could have a 5,000 gold lead. That could be blown in one team fight. So both teams still need to be on their game no matter what. I'm sure Phantastic are kind of riding the high from their last 2 wins, but they don't want to go in too cocky. Otherwise, that could kind of spell their downfall. So it looks like we're finally getting into the draft here. A couple bans right off the bat. We've got the Mordekaiser ban, followed by the Swain ban. I don't know if those are really worth... I don't know about first bans on Mord and Swain, though. Those are... some weird first bans.
I kind of support the Moore band. He's pretty powerful right now, I feel, and he's somewhat blind pickable, that he's getting into most matchups unless, practice his counters like the Olaf or something along those lines. Swain and a Moo, if this gets locked in as a ban, are definitely odd. Guess Phantastic Academy is really keen on T-fighting, and Skyline's trying to maybe make sure that they're able to keep in those team fights, not have to deal with all the AoE.
Yeah, it's understandable. Try to stop any kind of flanks that might come through from a Moo. He is pretty dangerous. I don't like playing against a Moo. Just very much just a lockdown champion. You can't move if he gets onto you. And if they have a good combo onto that, then you're not getting out of there. Is it a Briar ban? I can't even see it.
Syndra?
Is it Syndra? Syndra ban? The symbols are little. Tiny. I'm trying to... My old eyes can't really see that anymore. Syndra ban. Yeah, so straight up mid, and then I guess flex top jungle mid ban with the Mordekaiser. Skyline going into their final ban. A Volibear, not a single ADC ban. Sejuani Hover now, still not even looking for any ADC bans. So bot lane's just going to be wide open. Whether or not they choose to first pick the bot lane, we won't know though, but Kills is going to insta-lock the Ornn. That is a champion that I did not think was going to make it through the ban phase here. Went unkillable. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but just completely decimated top lane as the Ornn. So that's a very understandable first pick.
Yep, and it makes that Mordekaiser ban make more sense. That's one of his most popular counters.
Urgot. That'll be an interesting lane to see. Urgot, if he picks that, will have to pretty much consistently fight to not allow Ornn to just get on top of him. Urgot's going to have a hard time farming, I would imagine. Next pick, probably going to guess jungle here.
Yeah, I probably want something with a little bit more aggression that you can help support your Urgot, or they might just go for the Flex Smolder. Still pretty good at mid lane. Gives you that kind of late game insurance with the Elder Dragon burn that he has. Oh,
nope.
Jinx.
Is that a Psych into the Jinx for the bot lane?
Still another hyper carry. Kind of gives you that late game for Skyline. Lots of AD so far picked for them. That Ornn should be really happy being able to just build pure armor so far.
The Ziggs hover into the pick now. Flex mid or APC, I'd imagine. I don't think you really want to pick your mid lane blind like that. So my guess is it's an APC counter into Jinx, but could be flex mid if they look for something better. And Camille, I couldn't tell you where that's going to go.
Yeah, is this the legendary support Camille that we have seen? Are we seeing an Ornn jungle? I'm really curious to see that we have kind of 3 flex picks so far for Phantastic. I just hope that they don't try and get too cute, make sure that everything's making sense together.
Now, the Camille could be a mid flex. I mean, she could do well on there. There's 4 different pieces of terrain that she can hook shot off of, but I've only seen that done by like one tricks of Camille, and they can make it work.
Yeah.
I would like to see it work. I don't know if it will. As Tom Kench gets grabbed, that's probably just going to be Jinx Kench bot lane pretty standard.
Yeah, it's also an answer into Camille top lane. Tom Kench can really bully her early. So I guess that Skyline's also trying to keep that open. But yeah, Tom Kench is just fantastic to kind of save Jinx, who's rather immobile from these things of like the lockdown of Camille ult into Ziggs kind of thing.
I do like the way they're building right now. Skyline, I like their draft a little bit more right now because it's a little bit more clear, concise, good on the tankiness. Bruiser on the Urgot, full tank on the Tom Kench. I'd like to see another tank just because they have no damage on the side of Phantastic right now. They have Ziggs and they have Camille, but that's short bursts of damage rather than really good sustained damage. So Skyline with the tanks can have a really good front line, just letting Jinx do as much damage as she can. Viego gets the ban and LeBlanc gets the ban. A lot of mid lane bans coming out of Phantastic.
Yeah. Oh, excuse
Bless.
me. I think Skyline's unsure kind of where everything's going right now and don't really see a clear jungler, so they're just going to go after that as their safe things, whereas Phantastic, I imagine, just want to make sure that they are able to get a counter pick in mid. That, the Ziggs is probably going to go match the Jinx down in the bot lane and then making sure that you have somewhat of a safe blind pick mid.
Yeah, and I don't know what they're going to draft at the moment because J4 is going to get picked up. I imagine more so as to a counter and a takeaway from Phantastic because the build they have going on right now would do well with the J4. So I feel like that's a takeaway as well as maybe a comfort pick, as we do see Hui getting hovered. Very good in the mid lane. A little bit more sustained damage, which is something that Phantastic does need.
Yep, so they're going to lock that in. So giving themselves kind of two long-range mages. And I'm curious to see how they're going to round this out. If we see, kind of a clear jungler, or if this is the Ornn just in the top lane, as you had mentioned, or...
I think it has to be Ornn top. I don't think Ornn's going anywhere but top after the performance that we saw Kills have.
Yeah.
I think that's a solid lock, and especially, like you said, with that Mord ban, Ivern gets picked up. There's nowhere for him to go but the jungle. So I think we're pretty locked in. Ornn top, Ivern, Hui with an APC. Ziggs support Camille. And then on the other side here, we are just waiting on a mid laner to get picked up by Skyline, as 4 of them are banned out. They're going to go deep in to the repertoire as Veigar gets hovered here. That can be a good round out with that J4, with that TK. Stop any kind of movement from Phantastic because they have no way of engaging a fight except for Ornn ult or, Camille jumps in, really. And that will be the Veigar.
Yeah, so Skyline is very much playing to peel back kind of thing, right? That they are wanting Phantastic to try and kind of engage into them. I'm not sure how much Phantastic's actually going to be doing that as much this game. That I feel like there's mostly going to be playing towards this kind of poke from Ziggs and Hui, and Daisy kind of darting in and out with the shields.
Yeah, the only real issue I see for them, not a whole lot of escapability, just not a lot of movement in general. And the movement they do have is on large cooldowns, satchel charge from Ziggs, hook shot from Camille. Not a lot of ways of escaping. So J4 is just have a really good time early on. As long as he pushes this aggression, go bot early, try to get your Jinx ahead. Hell, go top early, try to get Urgot ahead. Just go mid, get Veigar stacks. You can go anywhere with this J4 and it will benefit your team as long as you're constantly doing that and not just waiting around and power farming.
Yeah, I mean, I do favor them. I'm just a little worried about how much damage that this Urgot is going to be able to do, that he's really short range. He kind of needs to be right on top of you with those shotgun legs that I don't know how much of that he's going to be able to find in team fights. But he should do well in the side lane. Ornn won't really have that much kill threat upon him. But yeah, I
think
feel like Skyline should have the advantage early.
I think Urgak should be able to do okay. Into Ornn, into Camille, both want to be really in your face. Ivern's a little bit far. I say Hui's medium range, same as Ziggs, maybe a little bit farther. But the people that Urgot want to go for in fights, he can just have whenever he wants, really. Unless Camille just stays far back and is able to get to the back line, which realistically shouldn't happen with the Veigar on the team, with J4 on there as well. So Skyline, I think this is just their game to lose. I think they won in draft, maybe except for the Ornn, because that was a really good pickup for Phantastic. But across the board, on paper, that draft just looks better.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any ideas on where we're going to be looking early? Do you think we're going to see skirmishing top, mid, bot lane? Do you think anybody's going to come out ahead maybe in the first 10 minutes or so?
I think the most interesting thing, right, is Ivern always has such unique pathing because he doesn't farm. Like, technically, right, he uses passive that he can lead to some really creative gank pathings and setups with especially his root and everything. That's kind of where my early interest is, that I hope Skyline's able to kind of invade and find out where he's starting. But I imagine we're going to see a lot of, like, just farming kind of down bot lane. I mean, I'm not sure why Camille with the Ziggs. I guess it's nice to have kind of the combo with the ultimates, but Ziggs doesn't really want to go for the all-in kind of fights that Camille support was so known for until they kind of got removed from that role.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to follow up, right? Unless it's already close quarters and they're fighting. But if Camille goes for too long of a hook shot and Ziggs throws his Q and it's just not far enough, or no one's there to follow up, Camille's probably not gonna have too great of a time into Tahm Kench and Jinx. That would kind of just be feeding him kills. So I really want to see how this bot lane goes. I think a lot of my focus is going to be down there just to see how it's going to work out, because I don't think I've seen a Camille support in years. So this will be a fun game to watch.
Yeah. I'm also really interested to see if teams, kind of pressure these mages mid, that both of them are very, very, susceptible to early ganks, that Veigar doesn't get caged to level 3 and it's a super long cooldown. Hui doesn't have any sort of movement in his kit, that, he has the fear that can sometimes get him away from ganks, but other than that, he's fairly immobile. There is a lot of early kill pressure early on both sides. Their jungle mid sit duos, that I think that's probably where there's going to be the most action, if I had to guess.
I think it's Ziggs APC and Hui support. They just picked Camille in the mid lane. Unless they last second swap, this may be the original hunch I had with Camille mid. And if that is, Veigar's not going to have fun, man. That's going to be a really bad lane for him once his cage is down. He can do some poke, but post level 3, Camille's going to have a field day there. So J4, probably going to want to go to mid first and hang out there for a little bit.
Yeah, if that's the case, for sure, as we kind of see as they're loading in, just kind of finishing off the tournament draft, that Camille mid, very much more aggressive, and yeah, it should definitely be then where Ivern is going to focus almost all of their attention, I would imagine.
I have a recommendation. If I'm on Skyline, what I do here is I throw Tahm Kench mid, and Veigar goes support with Jinx, and they just go kill lane, bot lane. Tahm Kench would just fare better in the mid lane against Camille. It would just be less of a chance of Camille getting 3 kills pre 10 minutes. I don't know if they have the option to do that, or if that's something that's even in their kind of range of play, but I don't think it would be a terrible choice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. They have up till 30 seconds to swap in kind of the tournament draft, so we'll see in 15 or so seconds here, kind of, if they're going to take that advice. I kind of agree with you that Veigar is a serviceable support.
We'll
Yeah.
say I think that's it. I think they're just locking that in. Now, final thoughts. Who do you have? Who's your pick coming out for game number 1?
I'm really uncertain on this game, to be honest with you. From the draft perspective, I think there's a lot of really, really odd stuff going on here.
Mhm.
I think Skyline have a much more, kind of traditional back to front. We're going to team fight, whereas I am not sure what Phantastic Academy is doing. They have kind of, dual poke bot lane, some really hard engage from Orn Camille, and then kind of, follow up with Ivern that I'm uncertain kind of how their team fights are going to work. Is they just once they poke out with Zig's way, it's just go button time, go crush them. Is it we're going to let Skyline kind of try and come into us and keep them away with our CC?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it's going to be. I think it's going to be bot lane survives, just farms, pokes. Probably not going to be looking for a whole lot of kills. I don't imagine Ivern's going to be going bot too often. Probably going to hang around the mid to top side. I originally thought that this could go either way with the drafts, but at this point, with that wrench being thrown in with this Camille now being mid lane, I gotta give first game to Phantastic personally. I think Camille's gonna get a couple kills. That's gonna snowball to Rome's bot and top, and they're just gonna win through mid. That's my final thoughts, but we'll see what happens here. We got 2 minutes on spec delay, and then we'll be right back with you guys for game number 1 in week 3 of Blue Otter Gold. Do not go anywhere. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are on the Rift for game number 1 for our Phantastic Academy Starcross versus Team Skyline. Phantastic on blue, Skyline on red. My name is Fury. I will be your play-by-play caster, joined alongside Storm on color. Storm, we got a standard 5-point setup to start.
Yep. Just trying to make sure that everybody knows where everybody is. Was hoping to see that maybe Skyline would try and get in there, get something aggressive so that they could find out where Ivern is, just because he is so tricky and is so easily able to steal camps if you're not careful against him.
Yeah, very true. And they're not really going to get a whole lot out of it, though. Just one defensive ward. Nothing else so far. It doesn't look like anything's going to come of it. Brandon needs help. Hanging around the mid lane. Is spotted right now by Golden Bob.
Oh.
It looks like Bob's going to invade a little bit here. Sweep out a ward, get some early gold.
Yep, get that early power spike mid for... Oh, I guess that is... Wait, never mind. No power spike.
No, nothing all that yet. Nothing coming out of that fight either. They know where Ivern started at least, so I guess they get their wish on there. Other than that, nothing really happening. I really do hope we see something J4 level 2. I don't know if he's going to do that, though, or if he's just going to go full clear since he's against the Ivern.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that it is Ornn with Airy in the top lane. He's going to be going, I guess, for Qmax and looking to kind of poke out Prototype.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that before. Kills is getting the worst end of that trade there. And we'll see if Airy works out for him. It is kind of making me question whether or not he picked the right runes, or if he's just that confident that he's going to go Airy on the Ornn. So maybe later we'll see the effects of that. But so far, so good for Prototype.
Yeah, the main thing I'm interested to see it with Killers is, does he know kind of the tech that Ornn really struggles into, as Ornn, if he can build an early rock solid AD item, builds it out of Bramble Vest. Warden's Mail, that's it, is really, really good into Urgot if you build it early, as it shuts off his W damage, basically.
Yeah, I feel like we'll probably see an early Bramble Vest for sure. It's just going to be the smart thing. Ninja Tab Eyes more than likely as well. I don't think he's going to go Merc Shreds, but a fight in the mid lane as DP Fifi jumps on a Brandon needs help, and we're already seeing the effects of the level 3 Camille there, a big chunk of damage as a Prototype and Kill's going to go at it in the top lane. Doesn't look like any kills going to happen there, but Prototype coming out big time. You see Golden Bob hovering around the top side.
Yep. Prototype played that well, that they kind of waited for Ornn to use their combo and then buffered through with the E, being able to get that flip and some damage with the shotgun knees, which is always great to see. Fifi, yeah, being able to play around, all these points that Vigar has to play kind of really awkwardly in mid lane. It should give some great gank opportunities.
And the problem, the flash forward from Prototype, dash forward is gonna miss, doesn't matter. It locks onto the minions, he's unable to finish off that kill. And Kills is gonna hang around under tower still, a little bit dangerous. Prototype probably hit him with a Q and kill him, but he's gonna get the wave push. Brandon needs help, is gonna have to flash after locking up DP in that event horizon. And nothing else is gonna come from there. As bot side, we're gonna get the fear onto Suppy Wuppy. Voltrex, all good.
Yeah, well, now we get to kind of see, Ivern just still hanging out top lane, getting his Friends of the Forest passive on all the Scuttle Crabs. See maybe, if he wants to go invade Krugs. Oh.
Yeah, he's going to get those Krugs as well. Prototype taking a little bit of damage there from Kills after Kills uses that TP to get back to lane. Fear onto top baller. Just a little bit of poke going back and forth. We are seeing Boom Blast doing a lot better in the bot lane right now. 33 CS to the 20 of Wooly Bully, but he is healthy enough to hold the lane here. We kind of talked about it earlier, that this lane is really just them trying to survive and farm.
Yeah, there is the kind of worry that Ziggs and Hui are both pretty much out of mana, that, they each have kind of the one cast a spell and wait for it to recharge kind of thing. You see some great trading going on from Prototype up there, trying to get aggressive with his E as you need to as Urgot.
Yeah, it's just going to get completely maxed. Kills is just going to keep coming back with more and more health. So Prototype, it's going to get harder and harder for him to kill kills. That's going to be hard to say all night until he gets a couple items under his belt to match what kills he's going to end up having with stats.
Yeah, Urgot's kind of a unique champion that he's super strong at really random points of the game. That level 9 is his giant power spike, and once you have your W unlocked as the toggle, and we see the kind of dive almost being set up here.
And
top lane.
Back and forth mid lane. It looks like Brandon needs help. Is going to go down. That's going to be first blood to DP Fifi. Not sure what happened there, but good kill. And then top lane, Prototype ends up killing kills there. Good trade across the board. The mid for the top. It looks like Suppy's going to go after the... I always forget what these things are called. The Glorbs.
Yeah.
I'm going to call them something different every time. The Grubs. Prototype's going to help him out. Golden is a level down as well. Not where you want to be right now as the Ivor, but DP Fifi's going to come in and hopefully change that for the better. Suppy Wuppy's going to use the flag and drag to get out. It's not going to be enough. We are going to see the kill go over to the Camille, and then one of those big grubs is going to be taken by DP. Rooted is Prototype. Brandon needs help trying to come up to try and get there to save the day. The ult coming in from the Ornn. Prototype is going to fall. Golden Bob's going to have to flash away. Brandon needs help. Does not have the ult to finish off Golden Bob. They do trade another kill. 3-2 across the board. 1-1 on the Grubs. Overall, slightly in favor of Phantastic.
Yeah. Great to see that kind of, both teams recognize that Grubs this game are going to be incredibly valuable. The dragon stacking, while being really useful to kind of get teams to fight for you. Proton really needs those Void Grubs to kind of give you that damage early to try and get the snowball happening, and we're going to see a repeat towards top lane here, maybe?
Yeah, Golden Bob going to steal that red. Suppy's going to find him. He's going to get rooted, however he is going to land the flag and drag. Bring him down to about 1/6 of his health as Vigar is roaming up. Golden Bob, I don't imagine is going to survive this one. They're going to give it over to Brandon Needs Help. A very nice pick. And they get the red and blue onto the Vigar as well. Going to help survivability in the mid lane against this Camille. DP 3-1 now. It's be a little bit hard to fight, but Brandon Needs Help being 2-1. Going to help at least a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of bails Vigar out. He only has the red buff now, unfortunately. That the blue buff looks like a time dead.
Just run out.
But yeah, should give them some, much needed XP to get them back into this game. But they roamed up for that grub fight and did lose some CS into their tower. Wow, great stun.
I don't know if that was on purpose, but it definitely worked. A really good Event Horizon goes down on the wall. So DP immediately hook shots into it. That's kind of just the counter now, I imagine, for Brandon in this fight. I think now that he realized that, he shouldn't be able to get jumped on anymore. Just needs to watch the cooldowns, watch his mana expenditure. He can start surviving in these fights. And Prototype really bullying kills in the top lane now. But they are going to trade that for a nice first Drake. This will be Chem Drake.
Yeah, Chem Drake's not the most useful this game. No one really has the shielding or healing other than, kind of Ivern, I guess.
Ivern Ornn a little bit, Way a little bit with the shielding. Nothing to really get out of just one Chem Drake, but definitely get it off the board first. Oh, DP going in onto Brandon. Half health there. But getting that first Drake, not bad. Get it off the board. That way you can get a better Drake in 4.5 minutes. You got a mountain coming up.
We are seeing the top lane fighting. The Prototype is able to burn the W before committing his ult. And flashes away. Wow.
Yeah, nice flash. I don't know if he had to flash. I don't know if kills could have gotten back onto him. But flash for flash, ult for ult in the top lane. Nobody really comes out on top. Top baller, speaking of top, gets ult there by Wooly Bully, just trying to push in, even on CS now. And Golden Bob is on the blue here. It's a 1v3. Suppy gonna flash. Will he be able to get out? Drops the Cataclysm, can't flag and drag his way out of the back. Kills is gonna pick up that kill.
Yeah, just continuing on for this Camille, getting more and more out of hand. Once they get that Trinity Force kind of in, another 1,000 gold or so, it should be kind of really major chunks with that precision protocol maxed out.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of, Cho'Gath ults on the 3-second cooldown or whatever it becomes.
Exactly. Q2 on a 2-second cooldown, baby. That's a Cho'Gath ult. That's a mini Vigar ult. DP, it's the one thing I was afraid of, is just the game running through mid. And that's what's happening already. DP, 3 kills on the board pre-10 minutes. So the one thing I pointed out is that happens, the game's just going to start to fall apart for the side of Skylines. Now, they can still win it. They just need to be playing a little bit safer. We need to stop getting caught out. That is going to be the Grubs going over to Ivern there. I believe it was just the first one. I think Suppy might be contesting the second one right now, and they are. So, again, they go 1 for 1 on the Grubs. So, just even across the board on that.
Yeah, 3 overall each. So there's going to be none of the little Void Mites spawning as you hit towers now. But, we can kind of see everybody's turning to level 9, that we're seeing items kind of starting to coming through. Camille's the first to get him. Kind of a major item completed with that Trinity Force. And everyone else is kind of on components still.
And Ornn just full armor right now, but, man, Prototype's still doing a ton of damage to him, bring him down to about half health with one rotation of those shotgun knees there. Goes unstoppable. Prototype's in his face, drops the ult. Will he be able to finish him off? Ult coming through from Kills as well. He's going to get the knock up. One more minion attack will do it. 1 Q will do it as well. Kills gets the solo kill in the top lane.
Yeah, and I have never seen an Aerie proc off of Bramble Vest until today, but that just happened.
That's new to me as well. So that's just an interesting interaction. Fun to know. Kills, again, we talked about this earlier, that Ornn pick, very dangerous. He ended up picking it first. Straight armor, Ninja Tab Eyes, the Bramble Vest, Bambi Cinder, Cloth Armor, Dorn Shield. Prototype, as much damage as he's doing, it could be more. Fight in the bot lane here. Top Baller gonna miss the knock, but Cataclysm on a 3 forces the flash from Woolly Bully. Boom Blast just in the back, trying to get damage down. The Chompers are gonna miss. Flash from Golden Bob, flash forward from Boom Blast. Will he be able to finish him off? He will. Another Flag and Drag coming through from Suppy Wuppy onto Patrolic. Boom Blast trying to find one more kill here. The zap comes through and he's able to hit. Woolly Bully isn't able to block it, but DP Fifi is in the back line. Nice 3-man ult comes through. He's gonna pick up 1 on a Boom Blast. DP trying to find a triple kill here. Will he get it? Getting taken down very low. Suppy Wuppy actually able to take him out. 2 kills go to DP. Excuse me, 1 for 1. 1 for DP, 1 for Woolly Bully. And overall, wow, a very good fight for both teams. Mid lane, Brandon needs help trying to chunk out the tower as much as he can, but wow, really great fight in the bot lane.
Yeah, it's kind of almost perfect in some ways that you're getting money onto your Jinx, that you see that they went for the cull start, that they already have their IE done, trying to get as much of an early spike as possible to be able to match this Ziggs' wave push. I'm hoping we see kind of a Runans, that I feel like this game is going to kind of devolve into that, all-out team fighting. And everyone's just kind of making sure that they're trying to keep up the lane pressure, right? The plates are going down on both sides as those have fallen now, and now towers can start heading down.
Exactly. Ziggs, of course, taking down that first turret. Wouldn't have it any other way. As Kills and Prototype going at it yet again. The ult comes through from Prototype, though. Does just enough damage with one last shotgun knee. Is able to find the kill. Now, Drake being looked at here. 5k health on there. No one to really stop this, though. It's a 4-on-1, 4-on-2 if Jinx gets there. Can't imagine that's going to happen, though. They're not really going to trade anything for it. Nobody up on Rift Herald. Urgot's not pushing into that tower, despite kills being down with no TP. Nothing getting traded across the board for that. So just a Drake going right over to the side of Phantastic. Good pickup. Uh-oh, Boom Blast. You can't just face check a bush after you just saw Drake get taken. That's just League 101. That's going to be a good kill going right over to
Yeah,
Phantastic.
and that's really kind of a bad time for that to be happening, that you really want to be on the map as much as possible at this point in the game to get yourself all that gold and experience. Is kind of the bot lane of Ziggs is going to rotate mid so they can start pushing to hopefully get this extra tower for the side of Phantastic.
Fight opening up top side. It looks like they may be looking for this Rift Herald. If not, maybe just pushing in to try to take this turret. Suppy is hanging out in the wings here. Rift Herald was pulled by Phantastic there. Vigar's heading up to the top side as well. Camille kind of pushing in the bot lane right now, though, and they're sending Boom Blast to counter it. I don't know if I like that. I feel like Fifi might be able to just dive him if he wants to.
Yeah, I guess we're just going to send Jinx mid, that Vigar commits his TP down there, trying to catch the wave. And you see a Prototype is able to pick up another kill on the kills, and Fifi does teleport in.
Suppy Cataclysm into 1v2. The flag and drag isn't going to do anything there. He's going to get ulted as well. Hextech Ultimatum goes down. Prototype just has to turn heel. Suppy with not a great initiation on that fight there. They got Ornn. They probably could have just backed off after that.
Yeah, it's always hard to know where exactly you need to be going with TPs being able to make fights so uneven so quickly and stuff, but just communication, right? Suppy just needs to be able to tell with his team that, you know, one kill is good enough for us right now. That we're trying to just get to the late game.
And with that, Rift Herald will be taken. Still not a huge gold lead. Only about 700 for Phantastic. Rift Herald is going to be summoned there, or excuse me, defeated. Finally taken out. Not sure where they're going to drop it, though. Maybe just mid to crack it open towards the next Drake. As bot lane tower is going to fall. That's going to be the first for the side of Skyline. The mid lane and top lane are chunked out significantly as well. So they could start turning this lead into their favor with gold if they're able to start roaming around the map.
Yeah, it's everybody's starting to kind of come through with their first items on the side of Skyline. I think Tom Kench is building a Hearthsteel, which I'm not really a fan of, but I feel like he needs some more defensive tools. But we are going to see kills going down.
Interesting interaction there. Suppy is going to take that kill. I think I would have liked to see that go over to Brandon. Top Baller and Boom Blast just trying to stave off the fight in the mid lane here, because Wooly Bully, being Ziggs, will have Satchel Charge on that tower and maybe 3 more auto attacks.
Yep, and there's, you know, kind of that 90 seconds before an objective spawns, and this is when I always kind of start talking to my teammates, hey, what are we doing in regards to this? You know, are we going to go set up our preliminary wards and try and get on this? Are we looking for a tower on the other side of the map? Looks like everybody's taking their resets, making sure to spend their gold before it happens.
Suppy standing on a ward there is going to take a bit of damage. Going to try to take this Scuttle Crab, get his team some vision down the middle of the river here. We do see one ward in the back of the pit. We have one control ward for Phantastic there. And not a whole lot of vision for the side of Skyline. So if they do try to contest this Drake, they're going to be walking in semi-blind. We do have J4 backing. Probably not the best back timers from what we're seeing here. And Brandon is going to get jumped on. Immediately, just, I don't think there's a way to survive this. Hextech Ultimatum is up, is used, and Vigar, not able to drop his ult, instantly gets taken down.
Yeah, I really feel like we just gotta, as Skyline, try and swap and make sure that Urgot is matching Camille, because Ornn is, you know, built pure armor that Vigar should be able to handle them in the top lane.
That is going to be tower mid going down. Baller taking a lot of damage. Ult is going to be used by Ziggs. Top Baller almost dies even. Now Vitrolic a little bit too deep here. May fall as well. Cataclysm is going to go down. Urgot's going to pick that up with the ultimate. Kills on the wings here. Does have his ult as well. Prototype. It flashes out after dashing, but a nice 2-man knockup. Fifi on a killing spree. The flash pull from kills onto the wall is going to get the knock up. A double kill goes over to Fifi. 8-2-2 on the Camille, and they are looking for Baron.
Baron is a little aggressive, but I guess you do have, your Ziggs on an item and everybody else that should be taken. I'm hoping that we're going to see Skyline be able to kind of react and go down towards this dragon, because I don't know if Phantastic can stay on this objective, but Jarvan is up in just 10 seconds here.
He's down to half health. Kill's no longer on the fight. They're running away from just Baller. I don't think they realize nobody else is around. Redemption's going to come down from the Ivern. Baller's taking a lot of damage. He's the only one trying to stop it. His team's just trying to push mid and maybe take a tower. No, they don't even take the tower here. They're going to move down to Drake. I think it might be too late, though. You've got the rest of Phantastic already roaming down that way. If they look to contest, they just win this fight.
Yeah, I feel like they're just going to go pressure mid down, right? They have a wave, they have Herald, and they have Baron, but they should be able to get this tier 2 and get, pretty significant gold lead. Started up, and we see Ornn as well pushing in the top lane, getting ready for that tier 2 that, maybe we'll see a drift and see if they can get that all the way to top lane. See if anyone's been practicing their silent ults.
They are able to get the Herald onto, it looks like, just the one turret. Able to take that down. Didn't quite get the second one. Kills, though, on this top turret, doing a lot of damage. We are going to have Ziggs finish that off. Big chunk of gold right into the pockets of Phantastic. Now at almost 5k gold.
Yeah, we're going to see, Ornn just got his first upgrade for himself, and, I'm guessing Camille will probably be the recipient of the next with that Trinity Force upgrade. And yeah, just a huge gold swing that I really don't think that there's going to be a lot going for the red side in this next fight. I can't see how they're going to be able to contest anything.
Right, this is the part of the game where they kind of just have to fight. If they don't, they're going to get their side lanes taken out. They're just going to get picked off one-on-one. They really just want to go on a full-on fight here. It's kind of just now or never. With the current gold lead, the current item lead, especially on the Camille, you don't have enough lockdown at this point, and Jinx doesn't have enough front line. As strong as she is, everybody just keeps getting picked out way before the fights happen. Suppy's getting picked out now. Just being somewhere he doesn't need to be. So he's going to fall. Top lane, Brandon, just pushed way too far up, is going to fall as well. The rest of the team are just going to try to sit mid.
Yeah, not the way you want to be. You kind of need to if you're on the side of that red side. You just have to form that death ball and just find the kill, find the angle to try and get some shutdown onto this Camille, hopefully.
It's really where you're supposed to turtle. Right now, that is where you would fight while you're under tower. But top ball is the only one there trying to stop it, is going to fall as well. Prototype in the bot lane, trying to take on kills. It's going to get pushed off the tower. Fifi is going to take the inhib on the top side. I'm going to trade that for the turret in the mid as well. They're looking for inhibitor and inhibitor on top and bot. They do take it top mid. Ornn's pushing up bot now. He's got a pretty sizable wave. Looks like the rest of the team will follow him, and they're just going to start to just take these objectives out one by one. It's going to be a full map clear of every structure.
Yep, and with that, the jungle is now firmly belongs to them. Fifi does go in a little deep here.
Ooh, ends up going down to the Cataclysm after dropping the Hextech Ultimatum. Kill's gonna dash all the way. Not get any knockups though. Golden Bomb gets taken very low. Another Flag and Drag gets a double knockup on a Kills with Trollic. Daisy's gonna drop down, do some damage. Kills are gonna try to trade, but isn't able to. Top Baller actually comes out with that kill. And that is going to be it. They trade a couple kills. They slow down what seems to be the inevitable, but they are trying to claw their way back into this game.
Yeah, that was some major shutdown money, and it went on to the right players, but they are still down, 5k, and they're going to have double super minions coming to their base at 25 minutes. That is some ridiculous pressure to be put upon you.
Yeah, nothing except for your Nexus towers left. The ultimate tower defense prototype trying to push in the bot lane. They need to be careful, though, pushing out this far. They need to let the minions come to them, or they will just start getting picked out like we just saw. Baron's in a minute and a half. Drake's in a minute. It's kind of one of those things where you really just have to let them get the objectives, because if you don't, the minions are just going to end anyway, or someone's going to TP near base. So you can either send all 5 when they go for Baron, or you just sit in base and wait.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of the Jinx ult or Jarvan random steal and pray for it,
Mm.
and just try and stall it out. That it is going to be a lot of farm coming into these key carries right now, the Vigar and the Jinx, that they should be able to get another kind of major item, I think, after this dragon kind of falls down in another 20 seconds and after the Baron. But I'm unsure if it'll be enough.
I'm not sure how they're going to take this next fight. One person at least needs to be in the base. Looks like it's Urgot and Vigar right now. Drake spawning in. You don't really have to contest this. This isn't for Soul. Air Drake, as much as you'd probably like it, you kind of just have to give this one over. They are pinging out Baron, though. Baron's not for another 30 seconds. I don't know if they really want to get started around this just yet. I would probably take one more wave out here, this upcoming wave, get some vision, and then move to Baron.
Yeah, I think, just trying to set up vision upon it so that they're able to see and get that steal with the Jinx Rocket or something kind of more non-committal.
Problem is, Suppy just gave away his position that he stopped lane, and Fifi's just going to kill him. Cataclysm goes down on top of the Hextech ultimatum. These Cho'Gath ultimates on the 2-second cooldowns. There's the hook shot, and Suppy's going to fall. You can't show yourself like that in lane as the jungler in the final minutes of the game here, man. That should just kind of spark the win for the Phantastic there. It's a 5v4. They're pushed into the base. They have super minions. They should look to end.
Yeah, Baron's not even needed at this point. You just kind of let the minions do the job. Throw out some non-committal CC.
Oh! Trollop takes an ult there. Brandon needs help. Will fall, though. The 3-man Ornn ult with the 2-man knockup. Top baller very low. Chunking out this tower. It's going to be the first Nexus tower to fall. They're working on their second one now. The knockup onto Prototype. He's tanking this tower, though. Kill's taking a lot. He will fall as well because of it. Prototype, though, getting hookshotted by Fifi. And now half health is the Nexus. It looks like Camille is just going to go ahead and destroy that. 17-14 with about a 4k gold lead. As much as this was sort of one-sided, it really wasn't. I think Skyline were pretty much in this the whole time. They were just unable to really get together and do it.
Yeah. If they just had, kind of some more mid-game kind of, togetherness, that they were all on the same page, I think they had a shot really easily at taking that game.
They definitely did. I think they had a great draft. It's just they let Camille get a couple kills too early, too quickly. It just kind of snowballed from there. A lot of really good fights around the map, good back and forth, but I think Fifi just comes out as a really big carry in that game. All right.
Yeah.
So as we are getting back into lobby for draft number 2, don't go anywhere. We're going to throw it to a quick break. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes while we get this prepared. Everybody, welcome back. We are into draft number 2 for game number 2 for Team Skyline versus Phantastic Academy Starcross. I remembered it that time. Still joined alongside Storm. Storm right now 1-0. Not a great game for Skyline. I feel like they could have done better, but do you think they're going to be able to change it up going into game 2 here?
I certainly hope so. You always want to see as a caster go to the full distance, the full 3 games. So hopefully we see some draft adaptations happen to make it so.
So far, nothing yet. Same bands, Swain Mord, Amumu, Hovered, at least. We'll see if they actually follow through with that. Do you think there's going to be any changes to these bands? Do you think there needs to be anything that has to be taken off the board?
Do you have an answer to Camille Mid? Is the question, I guess, that has been thrown down, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the big one right now. And do you let Ornn through again? I think they did fine against the Ornn, but there's the Camille ban.
Yeah.
Ari banned again. Will it be Syndra again? It is. Now here come the big interesting picks. Skyline on blue side gets first pick. Will they prioritize top lane again here, or will they just go safe with bot? That's Smolder. I still haven't seen this champion played yet.
They take the kind of late game insurance policy hyper carry that kind of flexes in between mid bot. Sometimes seems some play in top lane, but less so with the fleet nurse that have been kind of rotating out. We're going to see it answered with a Seraphine and the Ornn for Phantastic, trying to really make sure that they have the best possible team fight with those game-changing ultimates. Please, if Skyline has a Silas player, just slam it.
Honestly, yeah. That's kind of just a really good pick. You have Seraphine and Ornn ults right now. There's no reason not to pick Silas this early in the game.
Like, they could pick like Nidalee and Udyr, and you would still be like, it's a great Silas game.
Exactly. They pick Udyr, Elise, and Nidalee, and it's like, oh, this is a great game. But Ornn and Seraphine, 2 very comfortable picks for Phantastic. Now, I said earlier, Smolder, I don't know. I've never seen him yet. I believe that's going to be ADC, though, because we saw Skyline hover it before the Jinx in the last game. I'm imagining it's ADC, but potential flex. And the Brand gets picked. I've heard a lot of really good things about Brand and have yet to see him picked when he's open. So this will be the first game that's happening.
Primarily a jungler now. Has really strong kind of wave clear and team fighting. Kind of struggles a little bit when there's multiple skirmishes around, as mages do. That he kind of unloads his burst combo onto one player and then stops. And Phantastic is going to round out with Jarvan, trying to again look for the really hardcore engage, and they have the dream team wombo combo that they really need on the side of Skyline to get some really hard disengage going of some description.
Yeah, it's my only issue right now is picking Brand that early. It's a lot of single target damage. Obviously, Brand has Pillar Fire in his ultimate in order to do AoE damage, but it's kind of going to be hard against Ornn J4. A couple big tanks. You've got Urgot, who's all single target damage. They need to start getting more AoE or just, I don't know, more straightforward team fighting. Right now, their team is kind of squishy.
I also am really unsure of the Gwen ban for Skyline. I definitely agree. Phantastic banning Poppy here be a fantastic kind of support option into denying the Jarvan alt Ornn engages, and ban the LeBlanc kind of.
That I believe was banned in the last game as well.
Yeah.
So it's understandable for Phantastic there. They're really just hammering in the mid lane bans. Yasuo hovered for the ban now as well.
Yeah, Jarvan does provide an op up, and so does Ornn, right? And gives your team some AD that's generally lacking in these kind of AoE wombo combos.
And there is the final ban of the game. Gwen, like you said, I'm not sure what they're looking to pick if they're getting rid of Gwen, because Ornn is already picked unless they're afraid of Gwen mid. MF, Hovered, that's just a great pick with the current team they have. Phantastic. I really like their draft right now. Until Skyline picks Silas, and then I love that draft.
Yeah, if we see like Silas Janna right now, it's a banger of a game. Those I think would be the best two possible picks they could draft here.
See if they go for it. Sandra. More single target abilities.
Yeah, I mean it's a
They're just
mage
gonna
that
go for picks.
that kind of keeps yourself safe, right? That if they throw the whole kitchen sink at you, that you just press the Zonia's button that is your ultimate on yourself.
And then you press the actual Zonia's button after you come out of that.
Yeah.
You just don't die. Zach picked up as well. Hovered over anyway. 5 seconds left on the actual lock-in for that. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I really dislike that. Zach is, I want to go in and fight them. And if you are going into that team, you are going to get the stuffing beat out of you and get popped into that cell division rather quickly.
And the only thing you can hope for is, like, you're going for full team fights, right? You initiate with either Zach or Lysandra Claw. Brand ult. Smolder does his thing. Urgot gets a kill and maybe dashes forward, gets a fear onto a couple people, but that's really just wishful thinking. Aurelia picked up on the side of Phantastic. Man, this is a very snowbally team. If you're Skyline, you cannot let Phantastic get kills early. You just can't.
Yeah, it's very much one of those things that if Phantastic gets a gold lead, this game's done. As Skyline, you do have the Smolder kind of late game Elder insurance, but it doesn't scale anymore, the Elder burn. So, like, you don't even have that if this game gets to the ridiculous lengths. Your team's a really, really short range. So wave clear, I think, will be a struggle as the game continues. I really don't think that they have a shot at this unless something majorly kind of screws up for the side of Phantastic.
Yeah, this is a game that Skyline needs to be just on it the entire time. I don't like the draft. I'm not saying they can't win, but I don't like the draft at all. The AP damage they have is too bursty and not sustainable enough. Even Brand won't be doing enough sustained damage, at least early on. But then later on, when he does have the sustained damage, he's not going to have the health to stay alive in fights against MF and Aurelia. Urgot should have a good early game. We saw it happen in the last game. He should be able to hopefully repeat that again, be able to stay alive, get some poke in, get some CS, and just stay alive in the top lane. Then Smolder, see what happens in the ADC for him. Other side, though, Phantastic is just very straightforward. I'd like to see J4 start bot side and just go for a level 2 cheese gank down bot, or even mid, try to get Aurelia ahead while Lysandra doesn't have her claw up. And then later on, mid to late game, just the wombo combos are going to come through from them. It's going to be very hard to stop.
Yeah, and I mean, Phantastic even has a pretty decent lane with the Seraphine, whatever the root thing that she does is called, that line that comes out. If somebody's slowed, it becomes a root. Misfortune has a great spammable slow, right? In the form of the Make It Rain little puddle.
Rain, yeah.
That's a really great lane, whereas do we think it's Brand support or Zach on the side of Skyline?
See, I think it's going to be Smolder Brand bot lane, Urgot top, Lysandra mid, Zach jungle.
Yeah, that would
it
make
could be Zach support, because having CC against Seraphine is just really good. But they would just that just needs to be a kill lane at that point. Zach needs to be jumping on Seraphine and MF, and Smolder needs to just follow it up and look for fights. Zach can't exactly go in, do a little poke, and then get back out. He's gonna immediately pop cell division or just die for that. So we might not We might not even see it. It looks like one of them has AFK currently. And I'm
Yeah.
running out of things to talk about.
The only other thing I wonder about is kind of the mid lane matchup of why Aurelia into Lissandra.
I think it's just having an assassin mid against a mage. I mean, at post 6, Lissandra will be able to either just ult Aurelia and get out or ult herself. But I think early on, Aurelia should get a decent enough lead immediately to where that won't matter and she can just start going into other lanes like we saw Camille do in the last game and just start just escalating the lead from there, keeping her lead ahead and getting the rest of her team ahead in the meantime.
Yeah, I was almost certain. I was looking. I'm currently on u.gg,
Mm-hmm.
not sponsored by the way. That is like one of Aurelia's hardest counters. So I wonder if Fifi might have, thrown down the gauntlet too hard here.
It might just also be one of those things where he's just feeling himself after last game and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It might be seeing that as like, numbers don't really matter in this, and I'm just the better player. So if that's the case, then go for it. I think after watching last game that he's going to have a good time in the mid lane, just with the way he played the Camille. Played exactly how you have to play it, just constantly being aggressive, knows your damage, and as long as you know the champion well enough, uh, counters shouldn't matter too much.
Yeah, that's always true.
But as of right now, we'll call it an early draft here. What are you thinking? Game number 2, you think we take it to game 3, or you thinking we're seeing the 2-0?
I really do believe that Phantastic's just going to secure the 2-0 here. I don't think Skyline really has the resources to really snowball this game, that the only kind of early game they have is an Urgot.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you on that. As much as I say that, though, I do want Skyline to win. I want to see that draft win just so I'm wrong. That's it. I want to be wrong in this situation. But I do think that Phantastic is going to walk away 2-0 on this, still undefeated. But we'll throw it to a quick break. We'll get into game number 2 here in just a couple of minutes as we are waiting for some AFKs to come back. We'll see you all in just a couple minutes. Do not go anywhere. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are on the Rift for game number 2, potentially the final game of the night. Game point for the side of Phantastic. Now on the red side, and on the blue, we have Team Skyline. I am Fury. I'm still joined alongside Storm, and Storm, it looks like maybe having a little bit more of an aggressive red side here early.
Yeah, they're looking to try and get some damage down, get this early vision towards the bot side. Eating some poke from Brand. It's well defended. He was in the right spot to be. But nothing really comes for it. Lysandra gets a ward on the enemy Raptors to kind of equal it out, so we know where each jungler is starting.
Yeah, decent. I like that J4 starting on the bot side, hopefully, because he may be looking for that early gank like we were talking about. Fifi standing on a ward, and Brandon looking at him, maybe wanting to get
that
some
mana
poke,
flow
but...
ban proc.
All right, we'll see. I think he's waiting for me to get a little bit closer. Here he comes. Oh, no. Okay. I guess not. I thought he'd go for it.
Wants to keep the ward a secret.
Being a little bit conservative in the mana department there, but you probably are right. You might be trying to just keep that ward a secret, make them think that they don't have anything there.
Yeah, we should kind of have fairly stable lanes for a little bit here. You know, everyone kind of needs a couple of levels under their belt to really start looking for the aggression. Aurelian kind of needs all 3 of her skills to get these combos. Same with Ornn, and Urgot should just kind of be farming for a little bit here. And the junglers both look like they're just full clearing for now.
Ooh. Immediate fight from Prototype on kills, gets the flip, couple knees do some damage to him. Good start in the top lane there. Now, like I said earlier, I'm not really familiar with Smolder and his game. Can you explain what he does for me?
Yeah, so Smolder's kind of more of a caster AD carry, so sort of similar to Ezreal or something like that. You know, his Q is a skill shot, is a short range kind of skill shot. His W is a long range skill shot we see there that slows people. His E is his escape tool called Flap 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 that lets him fly over terrain.
Riot never fails with the names of abilities that are just really annoying to say out loud, huh? Really started with Seraphine, too. So, Flap Flap Flap. And you were talking earlier, he gets stacks for using abilities, and Golden Bob just standing right there in his face misses the flag and drag. Oh man, that was set up perfectly, and Boomblast just able to get out of the way. No sums blown.
Yep. A little unfortunate. Zach is just on their full clear route that I don't think he's going to be able to go up to top side to punish Jarvan for doing this, but you know, should be quicker now on his clear, maybe able to get, you know, a scuttle and maybe be able to go contest the second instead of them just handshaking it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like J4, I mean, he's going to be late to the top side there, so we'll see if he goes, like, I don't know, maybe Raptors to scuttle, if he just does the full clear to scuttle. Zach looks to be finishing off those Krugs, heading towards the bot side of the map. Maybe looking for an early gank here.
Yeah, Brand has been getting down some decent poke, and we are in the Zach prime position of over the wall E channel. I think he got spotted on a minion there as we see Vorentel and Bully back up.
Vitrolic? Yeah.
Vitrolic? Oh, yeah.
Vitrolic. Yeah, they were able to back up what we saw right before the camera cut away. The minion did just peek around the corner like it is right now. They see him. So unfortunate timing on the wave push there. Stops that, and J4, just like that, is kind of right back into the game. Oh. Zach stayed. The double knock-up. Stretching Strikes is going to miss, it appears, as Willy Bully forced to use both sums. The flash forward, though. Willy Bully is finally going to die. Boomblast picks up first blood. Vitrolic trying to get a trade back, unable to do so. Boomblast doesn't quite find the kill. A lot of sums used. Barrier still available on Boomblast. Flash on Baller, and flash on Vitrolic.
Yeah, but I mean, if you are Skyline, that's the start your team needs. You need Smolder to get fed. that, the tier start, they are going full greed down here for Boom Blast.
Definitely. I mean, we talked about it. They need to stay ahead. We can't let Phantastic get ahead if they want to stay in this game. Smolder being the first one to get a kill, probably best case scenario for them. Anybody else gets that kill, probably doesn't do much for them, and Phantastic just have a really good way to get back into the game. Meanwhile, Prototype in a 1v2 in the top side, actually winning it out.
Yeah. We see Killers again going for the Bramble Vest instead of the Warden's Mail, which I kind of talked about earlier, that Warden's Mail makes it so that Urgot W doesn't hurt you, whereas Bramble Vest makes it so that Urgot's W just hurts him. You see a -1, but...
Prototype with a really nice ult is going to land with just barely any mana left. Able to snipe him out from under the tower. That was a really, really good fight up top side. Last game, Prototype was getting really close to killing kills, but unable to do so early. Now at the 6.5 minute mark, he's able to get one for himself.
Yeah, and again, it's what Skyline needs. Getting ahead early, getting these kills. Hopefully they're able to transition this and get some grubs and some towers, or even some early dragons, just they don't need to fight later on. I think would actually be what I would prefer to see from them.
And it is Chem again, and like you said, the last one, not the greatest Drake, not the greatest first Drake either. J4's on it. They're going to trade that for the grubs up top side, though. Good start there for Skyline. They're going to grab those, and I mean, I would say probably the better objective for them to take early on.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the only worry is that, with Phantastic getting this early dragon, that it does force you to kind of come fight for the third one instead of being able to ignore it.
Right.
But, most of these teams are probably going to be much more towards the mid-game kind of fights, I feel, because both teams are really going to spike.
Kills, using that ultimate on the Prototype. The Forge God comes through, dashes forward again. Nice brittle proc again, but here comes Suppy. I don't know if you really want to be up here right now. Level 6, excuse me, level 5. Not quite 6 yet, but doing some good damage to Ornn. Definitely not going to do enough damage to kill, and Prototype stops the back. Probably could have just kept backing there, because now he's going to be late to the back without a TP. Suppy's getting pushed back by Kills because he knows where he's trying to back, and Kills, realistically, after all that, coming out on top, stopping both those back timers and just staying alive.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge win for the side of Phantastic to have their...
Ooh, look at J4 in the bot lane. Hold on, sorry to cut you off here. They're going in. Cataclysm is available. The Flag and Dragon's going to miss. The Flash comes through. Nice double ultimate. The Cataclysm with the bullet time comes through, and that's going to be kill for Woolly Bully. Top baller gets out, has to burn that Flash, and even through the barrier, Boom Blast goes down.
Yeah, and that's kind of the worry is, as Smolder, how do you ever live in any of these fights for the rest of the game? That I just can't see it really happening. We are seeing Bully kind of get this plate, get themselves... I wonder if they're going to go for a lethality build this game, or if they're just building Bloodthirster, as that's kind of been the normal Misfortune build the past couple of patches.
I think I would like the lethality build this game, just because all very squishy champions, except for the Zac, but doing a lot of damage. Now Boom Blast on the hunt here for Wooly. Yep. Here comes Suppy. He's going to be jumping in. Who's he going to land on? Stretching Strikes. Flashes, but he flashes out of the range of the Stretching Strikes, so Wooly Bully's able to get out. Unfortunately for Vitrolic, he does not have such good news there, as he does get taken down by Top Baller.
Yeah, you gotta kill. It unfortunately does go to your brand, and that's not the worst place for your gold to be. That as a mage, he has the scalings and stuff to kind of carry it. But it's starting to become a worry kind of for me already. 3-1, your guys are even in gold. There isn't a lot going on. There's a huge CS discrepancy mid. Look at this for Fizz.
This is what they were talking about with Fifi picking that Aurelia. They can just run through the mid lane. I mean, even if there's no real kill potential, having an assassin mid, you're just going to scale off CS so quickly, get a really decent gold lead, and have enough movement to get around the map if he chooses to do so. Top lane, I would comment over this, but I don't know if a fight's actually going to really happen. It's just two tanks kind of smacking each other. Here comes Suppy, though. There's something could happen here. Prototype has the ultimate available. Stretching Strikes will land this time, and there is the ultimate. He's going to get eaten up. Prototype with another kill under his belt, and that should be grubs coming up here soon as well. They should be looking to take those.
Yeah, the grubs are just spawning. Prototype's able to get themselves a plate and then move down. Horn does have TP and is coming up in 10 seconds. That I imagine you're going to look for this fight, especially with Fifi being as strong as they are, but they are currently getting pushed under tower.
The only issue is Brandon can do some decent damage to Fifi here. Down to half health already. Grubs slowly but surely being taken down. Golden maybe looking for a flag drag steal here. We'll see. Nope, those are going to be taken. So we will be seeing the Voidlings. J4 will be finishing that back.
We will see the mites coming out to try and help get some of these plates, which is great to see. And
mid lanes. Stretching Strikes is going to land. Brandon needs help. Not going to take the claw, and Fifi still somehow alive. Finally goes down. We head down to the bot lane as Wooly trying to get a kill and does so onto top baller. Boom Blast will trade that back though, and now going down onto Vitrolic, who is going to be over 2 wards in these 2 bushes. I don't know if he'll be able to trade back the kill. He gets the root. Oh, Boom misses the ability as Vitrolic tries to dance around. Flash forward, no auto attack comes through. Vitrolic with a great outplay there in the one-on-one, but Suppy comes down to finalize that kill.
Yep, the outplay / misplay combination is there in full force, but it's awesome to see Vitrolic is able to get that, keep that play from turning into a disaster. And you know, we see both AD carries with this kind of fighting and early aggression have gotten their first items already.
Oh, Prototype looking for another kill onto kills. Basically, what he was looking for in the last game is happening this game. 3-0, looking really good, but bot lane flash from top baller as Golden Bob drops down that Cataclysm onto him. They're getting set up for a Drake. Stretching Strikes will land onto Golden Bob here. Gonna have to use that flash. Here comes Wooly Bully. No ultimate available. And that is just gonna pop the Cell Division. Fifi's gonna pick that kill up for themselves. And that should be an Ocean Drake here going over to the side of Phantastic.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I worried about. That yes, your top laner is able to start doing some great stuff and get these plates, but the second dragon now going down on the side of Phantastic as Skyline, you really got to be worried. This third dragon's going to come up. You probably have to fight for it, and it's going to be the strongest point of the game for Phantastic.
Right, because if you're Skyline, you feel like you're pretty ahead right now. It's 8-4, but and you have, you know, you have both of these Void Grubs, but you're basically even in gold. You're down 900 gold right now if you're Phantastic, but trading that back with the towers across the map, with the dragons you're getting, Baron will be up here in just over 5 minutes. Rift Herald will be coming up here shortly. So you can still fight for those, but Phantastic, even though they're down, they're definitely not out.
Yeah, I'm a little worried for Boom Bully down here that they're, or Boom Blast rather, sorry, that they are sticking around. Bully is primed, looking for just one of those double ups and then maybe just an auto to kill them.
And has the barrier available too. Well, who did look to go under tower has that available. No flash, no ult though. That's gonna be a Rift Herald going over to Skyline as well. We'll see where they drop that. Looks like they may be going mid for it here, sending all 3, 4 even there, pushing Aurelia out of the map.
Yeah, I'm hoping they just drop this for their Urgot to try and get this first tower before it gets claimed bot lane here, but it doesn't look like it will happen.
Yeah, MF and Vitrolic are going to take that for themselves. Good amount of gold going over to Phantastic, and that's going to put them right in the lead, if only by 100 gold.
Yeah, and that's 100 gold too much if you're Skyline.
Oh man, Wooly Bully running right up into the mid lane. Brandon has to back off. They're gonna send Aurelia bot. Right after that, Prototype jumping on the kills yet again here. Kills is gonna have a lot of armor now, and Boom Blast extremely low, never backed. You talked about him staying there, and I don't think he ever actually backed. Ends up falling, and that's gonna be another kill going over to the side of Phantastic. The bot lane really starting to pull themselves into this map.
Yeah,
Something going over our map. Top lane, Prototype gonna try to survive here. That's gonna be the Cataclysm. He's gonna flash out of it and kills. Gets blocked by his own pillar. Good job to Prototype, able to get out of that fight.
yeah, but does, we canceled our back again. Oh, does able to dodge out on that, which is great to see, and they're able to keep themselves safe. Zach is...
Oh, Zach, yeah. Zach and Golden Bob up here on the top side. 2v2. Realistically in favor of Phantastic. Suppy is going to have to back off. Golden Bob on the hunt. Here comes MF and Brandon to the top lane here. Has to jump over the wall. Big shout out to the main channel. Thanks for the raid. We got 32 of you guys joining in. If you're just joining us, it is 1-0 in favor of Phantastic, who's on the red side right now. Skyline currently 0-2 on the 2 weeks that they've played so far. So one team still playing for staying undefeated, and one team looking to get their first win. Right now, down about 800 gold, about 1,000 fluctuating.
Yeah, and we see, 90 seconds upcoming to this strike.
That's going to be the crescendo, followed up with the bullet time. Boom Blast is going to get boom blasted. Stretching Strike's going to land onto the Trollic and Wooly. Nice passive coming through for Top Baller as well, as he's going to finish off the Trollic there, and Wooly Bully will be able to get it out. Has to use the flash and barrier, but is able to survive after getting that kill.
Yeah, and Boom Blast should be alive now and kind of in time for this dragon, and they will have flash up for this fight crucially to hopefully be able to avoid this crescendo and flag and drag combination from J4.
Speaking of flag and drag combination, Golden Rod over the wall there, drops the Cataclysm as well. Another kill going over to Wooly Bully. You hate seeing this right now if you are Skyline. You can't let Phantastic pull their way back through this game. They're 1,000 gold ahead even now, and they're getting primed for this next Drake. They're about to make it Soul Drake point at about 24-25 minutes.
Yeah, it's looking a little dire that Aurelia has this nice, really long lane down here and bot to kind of chill out and be able to threaten Lysandra, be able to chase them to the ends of the earth if they ever push up. Probably going to go grab this red. Ornn's even able to win getting the first tower top lane.
Yeah, despite being killed multiple times in the one-on-one, still able to push down the wave into an Urgot and get first tower. That's a really good win for him on that, despite the gold deficit. It looks like Zach and Urgot are going to push top to try to trade this tower for the Drake. They're going to drop that Rift here. I forgot they were hanging on to that for a while. This Hextech Drake will fall over to Phantastic. Suppy trying to go in after kills, but looks like they'll just escort this Rift Herald maybe one more time into the next turret.
Yeah, I think we drove Herald into a pylon there from Ornn. Kind of delaying it. Wonder if he's not quite able to get it that time for that one, but we are able to hit the eye and deny this charge, and now the rest of the team has rotated up.
Oh, nice ult coming through. Prototype unable to survive there, not able to get a trade back either. And now Brand Smolder, Zach heading up towards the top side of the map here, hovering around this Baron. I don't think they're going to go for it. Probably wouldn't be the smartest idea, but they should at least get some vision around it. I think that's something they've been kind of lacking. They've got a couple good defensive wards, like Zach's got a ward on his blue. They've ward in Tribrush bot lane, but nothing really else on the map at all.
Yeah, it's tough to get anywhere near any of these brushes without any vision, right? We need to see some blue, kind of wards come out so that they can get this, so that they can establish this vision early, and then hopefully sweep out and create a pick, because it's starting to get to that point where they need a pick to even be anywhere in this game.
Flag and Drag's gonna land from Golden Bob on a Suppy. They're just fighting over this blue buff right now. Who will get it? Smite comes through, and it's gonna be Golden Bob coming out with it. Blast cones over the wall, and Golden Bob is able to flag and drag over the wall. And it looks like that's just gonna be him out of there. I don't think they can really take the fight on this. Production could show us the items again on the scoreboard. As we have an ult come through from MF onto Prototype. He's going to fall. Or an ultimate comes through. Call of the Forge God picks up one. That's going to be Prototype going down to him. Boom Blast, though, picks up a double. Aurelia is going to pick up one for himself. And Lysandra follows that with a kill onto kills. And now we're seeing the ice statues do quite a bit of damage here. Fifi trying to stay alive. Top Baller going to pick up the ace there. Very nice fight overall for the side of Skyline. A kind of a Pyrrhic victory. They go 3 for 5, but I think you take that, and they're going to take this tower as well.
Yeah, I mean, you had a 5v5 and you won. That's what you want to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's just kind of the issue. We see the Smolder just unable to kind of get in and hit people, right? That they are shorter range, and when they are able to get in range and actually use their abilities, they're just walking into these giant CC death ball chains. But we are seeing, some MR kind of come through that Warren has realized that, ouch, these mages hurt a lot, actually, that I do need something other than armor.
Yeah, they can't just sit on armor when you have Zach, Lysandra, and Brand on the other side. Doing a lot of damage to you. The one thing I will say about that fight that I will give credit to for Phantastic is that they did kind of come in there one by one. They weren't really all together and cohesive for that fight. So Skyline took really good advantage of that, but I do want to see how it happens with a team fight that's more cohesive for Phantastic. Kind of like this. MF ultimate comes through behind the crescendo. Cataclysm gets dropped down. Brandon going to get a kill on to Seraphine and a shutdown from Ornn onto Lysandra. The Urgot ult into the flash for the fear on a J4, and he's going to fall as well. And now MF just trying to get out of this fight. Just like that, that's a 3 for 2 in favor of Skyline. They're coming out 17-13, but still behind on the gold.
Yeah, I mean, that's more of the things you want to see. Smaller scale skirmishes where it's not all 5 members. But Aurelia, Fifi, able to get some pressure up here onto this top tier tower, get some more farm onto them, that we can see that they have built up this massive gold lead through their farming.
Whoa, Baller, you don't want to be here. You're 3 levels down. I don't think Fifi realizes he can fight him. He's taking a lot of damage, down about half health with the burn. I think if he just jumps on Brandon's dead there. But Fifi respecting the Brand, maybe just a little bit too much, get it back off. Prototype wilting down that tower, finally does take it. That's going to be all outers taken by Skyline.
Yep, assuming we're going to see this Starix Gauge coming out again, trying to give them that health lead and ability to kind of live. Wow, this Brand is... Well, they hit their combo.
What does Skyline need to do to get a lead, man? They're taking towers. They're winning team fights. They're still down 500 gold. You're seeing these deficits in the mid lane on CS, the jungle on CS, and that, I guess, the 3 Drakes. But other than that, everything has been taken by Skyline. And now another fight maybe opening up here. Kills right in the fray. Suppy needs to be careful. Aurelia still pushing down the top side. Crescendo down onto 3, followed by a huge MF ult. That's going to be an immediate triple kill. Brandon goes right into the fray, goes golden to try to stay alive. This could be a potential penta if they give it over to Wubby. That's going to be a quadra. I said Wubby, it's Wooly. Wooly chasing down Prototype, saying, give me the penta, make it rain, comes down, just barely misses, the slow falls back, and now we're seeing the top lane in his get taken down by Kills and Fifi.
Yeah, as well as this soul being claimed as well. I don't think that this is really going to keep going after this point.
Yeah, soul at 25. That's inhib cracked pre-25, top inhib at that. So right now, realistically, still either way. What Skyline needs is another fight like they had earlier, where Phantastic was kind of just scattered. That's not a great place to be. Suppy, he is getting absolutely chunked out, will eventually fall. And that is just going to be a kill over to kills now. Pushing through the mid. Brandon, I don't even know how he got there, but comes in from behind.
Burn the
Fantastic there.
teleport.
That was very scary. I thought Brandon was about to die there. I mean, Baron, the next objective. I said I thought Brandon was about to die there, and I caster cursed at him. Sorry, dude. He dies, and now Baron is going to be the next item on the menu.
Yeah, and with Baron buff, it should kind of be the walk down after this, that we don't have quite the damage and everything ready, but the tanks of Phantastic are there. Ornn has fully built himself a Canic Rookhorn to survive kind of some of this initial burst.
Yeah, the only thing you can really do in that fight is you need Zac on top of everybody, Lissandra in the middle for the stun, and then Top Baller just pushes R, right? And just does a ton of damage. But it's really hard to do that because you need to be grouped up for it. And if you're grouped up for it, you're just wide open for the wombo combo that is Phantastic.
Yeah. And again, you don't have anyone on your team really great at clearing these super minions. Fifi is going to get collapsed on you here, but I think they kind of want this almost.
3v1. Gets the flash out of Brand. Flashes forward. The Top Baller not quite going to get killed. Will eventually fall. But it does take 3 people to do so. But the rest of the map, nothing happens. So overall, a win.
Yeah.
They spend a lot for it. 2 flashes for 1 kill is a lot.
Yeah, 2 flashes, 3 ults and a barrier. Or sorry, and an exhaust.
A lot used. But Charlie, you're gonna see Suppy. That was a weird interaction. The knock up through the wall. There's the Cataclysm, gets the flash. And is just gonna stop that fight.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad for Suppy right now. They can't get into their own jungle to claim any of these camps. So they're just going to be kind of stuck here as Zac with this very, very low gold income for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, you got to just be kamikaze Zac at this point. You got to jump in, get as many knockups as you can, drop as much CC as you can for your team before you die. And it looks like he may be getting set up for that on the other side of the Wolves camp here. Just waiting for Phantastic to push in a little bit more. We do see it really in the bot side, and Lissandra's going to go try to match that.
Yep, they did kill Fifi, so there is no Baron buff down there.
Oh, nice knockup onto 2. Stretching Strikes is going to land as well. Let's Bounce is going to drop onto 3. Ult comes through from the Ornn, going to get a knockup onto just Prototype there. Wooly Bully fell early in the fight, was unable to use his ultimate, use Barrier, ends up falling. Prototype still alive, gets the flip onto kills here, somehow staying alive, eventually falls. Brandon very low, and we're seeing Fifi low as well. Boomblast has this the mini dragon buff here, as Brand will eventually kill Fifi. That's going to be a 3 for 2. It's going to be in favor of Skyline.
Yeah, and it's an awesome engage from Suppy Wuppy that they're able to get it. They're able to get this MF singled out, allowing their Urgot to get onto them and kill them. And it gives you the out, right? You're able to farm up the super minion waves, and Smolder's starting to hit his stack points. If we could just grab onto him for 1 sec to check where is he at in terms of his stacks.
233.
Yeah, he's really, really close to, I think he has it actually, that he has the Elder Burn.
Yeah, it's 225. He's got it now. He was doing quite a bit of damage in that last fight, and like I said, Suppy Wuppy just doing the kamikaze Zac thing. Jump in, drop as much as you can, die, and hope your team comes out with something. They did. Ends up trading 3 for 2, so not the best trade in the world, but you come in on top, your ADC stays alive, your Brand is still doing tons of damage, and realistically, that's all you want to be at. Urgot 8-3-1, extremely strong. So Prototype's looking good. They just need to make sure they keep doing that. Don't let Wooly Bully and Metrolic get that combo off of the Crescendo and Bullet Time, and you're chilling. You're doing just fine in those fights.
Yeah, that Phantastic looking a little weak here right now, right? That they haven't really done very much after claiming the soul. And Baron, I thought, they were really going to be able to end it, but they haven't.
Mhm.
And we're seeing Skyline put up a really great defense that they know where to be, and they've been able to find fights that favor them.
5K, almost 6K gold ahead at this point. Elder coming up here in 30 seconds. That's going to be the next fight. And kills off to the side. 2 tanks jumping on him, though. He can just bait this out for a while. He's going to call in that call to Forge God. Meanwhile, in the mid side here, over by red, we're going to see the crescendo bullet time come through. Brandon eats up, goes golden. Ends up falling. Suppy Wuppy trying to do something in the back line. He's going to end up falling, as is Seraphine. Prototype doing quite a bit of damage there. It's just not going to be enough. His kills comes out with a double kill here. Will they look for the Elder? Will they just look to end the game is the question, as Boom Blast is the only remaining member of Skylines alive.
Yep, I think I think you can almost do both, but you can get this Elder Dragon, maybe get this mid tower here if you're able to get any sort of horn knockup. Aurelia has the damage to kill this Smolder for sure.
Just has to be careful, because that mini Elder Drake he's got ticking away on to Fifi there. Yeah, that's gonna be Elder, though. The real Elder has been picked up.
The real Elder has been picked up. Baron is spawning in 20 seconds here.
Will they even need it is the real question. 30 more minutes into the game here. There's the Elder procking onto top baller. Not quite going to go down to half health. Golden Bob gets hit by stretching strikes. Doesn't connect with another for the pull. And that's just going to be the end of that. Probably looking to reset. Maybe look for Baron. If not, you just take a fight around there. 10k gold lead right now. This is Phantastic's game to end.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to go start hitting this Baron buff now, I guess. They're not going to have this Elder Baron combo for a super long time. And as Skyline, you just got to kind of go for it, right? It's a terrible feeling.
For the Baron, they could just sit in a bush and just wait for Skyline to come fight. Instead, they're taking a lot of damage from this Baron.
Yeah, we did see Smolder committed Mom his ult. And got some more poke down.
Oh, Suppy, hello. Not sure how he got back there, but I don't think he wants to be, as Fifi does a lot of damage. One more auto attack, that'll do it. Brandon goes golden. That is simply delaying the inevitable. He will fall as well. However, Prototype gonna get a nice kill on a Golden Bob there using that ultimate, but Aurelia follows up with one of her own. Baller gonna fall as well. They are pushing their way down mid. That is gonna be a 3-for-1 in favor of Phantastic here, and now this could just spell the end. We've got plus 30-second death timers on all of Skyline right now. Prototype extremely low, and Boom Blast not healthy or strong enough to stay in this fight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the triple inhib yet again on the side of Phantastic. Thank you. But they're just going to be able to claim this tower here. Smolder did commit the ult yet again and is able to kind of bully them away, which is great to see.
Yeah, probably worth it just to clear out the minions. Not let them take another inhib. Only one inhib down in the mid lane. Bot and top are open. The only structures left being those Nexus towers. Now, realistically, this should be the last fight of the game. If Phantastic win it. If Skyline are able to win it, they stall for like maybe 3 more minutes. If they can do that a few more times, they can maybe get Elder and win the game. That is a lot to go off of. They just need to be very, very careful in these fights. They need to look for quick picks. They can't be pushed out for too long. Like, where they are right now is kind of crazy on the setup. They're all split up in their own jungle. If they get jumped on, they have really no way of just immediately collapsing. It's just going to be a 4v1 for 3 seconds, and then they're going to start killing people one by one. Urgot running in now. Suppy goes in, and they just see him disappear. Now they can just walk in and take this fight.
Yeah, able to use the Hex Gate as a scouting tool. Show that they're not on the Baron. That one ward that they have doesn't really spot it, but kind of does. That they're able to keep themselves safe right now, kind of in control. You know, Phantastic doesn't really get stronger from this point. Ornn has upgraded everyone. They have all the major items that, 4 items to 5 items isn't the same lead as it is that it was when it was, 3 items to 2, even 2 items to 1. That everyone's gotten the late game, that everyone is really strong on both sides.
There is a lot of gold still ingested into the team as Sandra, no TP, making her way into this fight. Suppy just a little bit late on it. Flag and Drag's going to come through and land, and man, MF with a great bullet time onto Brand there. Ends up getting that kill off to the side. Prototype and Fifi going at it, just trying to trade back a kill. Not going to happen there. TP comes through into the mid lane there from kills. And that should be the end of the game for Phantastic.
Yeah, Phantastic just claims the Baron that they are tired of waiting for Skyline to actually come in and fight them, and starts it, and by the time Skyline does come in, it was too late.
Wooly just walking down Brandon there, has to go gold, and not enough. Ends up falling. There's the crescendo. That's going to land. Boom Blast will get taken down, and just like that, Phantastic stays undefeated, 3-0. They won 6 of their last 6 games.
Yeah, absolutely great stuff by them. They were in firm control of that game throughout almost all of it. It was great to see from them.
Yeah, just really well played, showing why they are, if you were watching Otter Talk, number 1 on everybody's list in power rankings. There's a reason why they just absolutely dominated that. Misfortune 36k damage, Fifi 31k, only matched by Urgot on the other side with 31k as well. Even kills, 21,000 damage, almost as much as Lysandra, more than Brand. Just absolutely popped off this game. But overall, in the 2 games that we saw, Fifi really showing prowess in the mid lane on 2 champions you wouldn't really expect in the mid lane right now, but played very well.
Yeah, they just played fantastic. I do want to give a special shout out to Prototype, even though they have been losing and they haven't been doing that great. They had a fantastic showing tonight on their Urgot. They played really well, was able to get some clutch Fear Beyond Deaths, knew how to use their flip and the shotgun knees to really push that champion.
For sure. I mean, they gave it their all, just unfortunate, and they stay 8th in the league, 0-3 now, going into week number 4, but we'll see what happens next week. Maybe just a hard first 3 games. We'll see if they are able to turn it around next week, and if, of course, if Phantastic will stay undefeated next week. But that is all from us here. Very well played tonight. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you, main channel, for the raid there. For myself, for Storm, for the production, Braku. Thank you very much for coming out for week number 3, and we'll see you all next week.